Gentlemen, take 2 steps back, walk up on command, please, to the curved line. On your marks.
I am Josh Park. I go to Ohio University and I run on the cross country team.
All right, so Josh, tell us exactly where it all began, kind of walk through how you got into running and where it all started, and how you got from there to now.
Okay, this might take a while. I was kind of involved with endurance sports and running at a very young age, not necessarily involved, but exposed to it. My dad is a very good triathlete and a good runner, as well as my uncle. So some of my earliest memories are being in a stroller, being at triathlons early in the morning, being at races, that kind of thing. So I think the first race I ever ran was a 5K. I believe I was 7. So I've been around the sport and in the sport for a long time. Kind of didn't get serious with anything until junior high, and of course junior high did very, very well just because I had been running lightly for for my whole childhood, so I really had an upper leg at it. And it just, when you're good at something, it's really enjoyable, because it seems like when you're doing well in practice and doing well in races, that it's this thing that feeds you, and you just want to keep going. So I, like as most junior high kids do, I progressed. I went from running in junior high to high school, and everything seemed to be going well. As a freshman, I was the fastest member on our high school team and was a regional qualifier, and that's seemingly the progression that a lot of kids in my position made. And that progression kind of continued throughout sophomore year. I narrowly missed getting to state by a couple of seconds out of regionals, and after cross country, that was unfortunately kind of it with my high school career. I ran into a slew of injuries that were recurring from a lot of overuse and compensation type situations. Getting shut down early in high school was really frustrating for me. It wasn't, I had a serious injury in that I got reconstructive surgery to get my labrum repaired and pinned back to my pelvis. I had a growth defect on the head of my femur that caused my labrum to get kind of ripped off of the acetabulum, which is the cup part of the ball and socket. So that's, as far as rehabilitation, that's comparable to like an ACL tear or that kind of thing. So running in high school was out of question, but that didn't mean that I wanted to quit running or pursue something else. So I unfortunately tried to get back too quick and got a femoral stress fracture, and was trying as hard as I could to get back into shape to race and compete and get back to running, and it just, injury after injury kept coming, stress fracture after stress fracture. So going into freshman year of college, I knew I had probably zero chance of running or even running competitively again. I could barely walk around without pain, and I was paranoid about absolutely everything. So I kind of turned away from competitive running and running altogether, really, because it was just this reoccurring cycle of getting injured and getting frustrated. And I would see guys that were on the team that I knew were on the team. I didn't know them personally. I just, these are the cross-country guys you see in the dining hall and you see around campus, and was so incredibly frustrating to me to look at these guys and be like, I have the potential to be as fast as these guys, to compete with these guys and to be on a team, and I have all this potential and nobody knows it, and I can't get to it and I can't access it. And it's like, why why specifically am I having these problems? You look at, other people my age, and it's absurd to have 5 stress fractures in the span of 3 years. That doesn't happen to a lot of people, and a lot of frustration and feeling bad. And I was so stuck in my own head that I just got real depressed. And, being injured is not a good thing, but it's nothing to be totally dark and depressed about. It wasn't until the summer before my junior year of college last year that I reached out to our head coach and finally got a response from him, and he was willing to give me the opportunity to try to walk on the team. Kind of what fueled me throughout that winter and spring season was just being frustrated at not being good at running anymore. I went from when I was running well to I was running well and consistently, podiuming or placing top 10 in larger races and road races and things like that. And, nobody wants to be bad at what they do. So it was really a combination of that and slowly getting to more consistent training that was the turning point for me. When you know that you've trained well, you know that you can run with the guys in the front. So, it's such a mental advantage to run your first race well. Definitely knew that I had a shot to win. Workouts, the whole season had been going so well. It's hard to not carry confidence into knowing what you're doing, but also knowing that you can't be too ego-driven or arrogant about what you're doing, and step back and say, yes, I do have a chance to win this, but also you need to focus on the steps it takes to get there. I was confident, but I also knew that there were probably 5 other guys in that race that legitimately had a chance to win, and I was one of them. You can't build things too high up in your head, because when you do that, then things tend to fall apart because you're not thinking about what you need to think about. So just tried to keep it really level and kind of low, and it's a cliche, but go into it like any other race.
Down the stretch he comes! Josh Park! Josh Park will be 2018 Mid-American Conference.
It was a bit surreal, not necessarily what I thought it would feel like. I wouldn't even say necessarily like elated or happy. I was still kind of trying to process what went on, because I had it in my head how the race was going to pan out, and more often than not, it doesn't do what you want it to do, and in this particular race it did. So it was kind of almost a shock to me that things actually worked out.
On your mark.
Come on, Ryan!
Go, Josh.
Come on, Ryan!
Let's go, Josh!
Come on, Josh. Come on, Dan. Let's go.
73, 72, 72, 70, 73, 72, 74, 55.
Go, Josh. Make a board. Come on, Josh. Get up there with them. Come on. Go, Josh.
Park on the outside. Now the outside. Park, Foot, and Cam Stevens.
Tell us about the race.
I didn't think I was going to catch that kid, but I did.
Nice.
We ran pretty slow, but it was a good experience closing fast. I think we probably closed in 4:45-ish and probably closed the last 230, so I'm happy with that.
Dang.
Tomorrow I'm racing the Cap City Half Marathon. I raced there last year. It was actually my debut half marathon, and I was wildly underprepared for it, but ended up having a good day. First experience racing a major city race, and ended up getting second. And tomorrow I'll be back, and I'm really excited to race again because I'm way more prepared and have no idea what's going on. I just came off of New York City Half Marathon and did really well there, so I'm excited to jump in a competitive field and see what I can do. Yep, so this is it. This is the last one of the season, and we'll take some downtime after this and then start the build for cross country, which should be even better than last year.
Among this first little cluster that you see here, we have Sam Stevens-Jones as well as Josh Park. Now, Josh Park placed second at this event last year. He's about a 5-minute, 10-second. Last year, when he placed second, again, only got second place by 6 seconds. He did that. This man is doing work.
And, Josh is only 21 years old. He's from Amherst, but just truly amazing that he's been this far ahead throughout the whole 13 miles of this race.
The winner of the 2019 Ohio Health Capital City Half Marathon, Josh Park.
Thanks a lot, Josh. Last year you finished second, 6 seconds back from winning. Today you made sure you won it.
Yeah, I was tried to employ a similar tactic to last year, but try to stay away. Tried to get away before we got to OSU, and then coming back lane, I think, tried to pick it up and stay away, and it was enough. We're a little bit slow today, but it's a little windy and variable day to day, but I'm happy.
I definitely want to continue to pursue competitive running after my eligibility ends, and potentially look at qualifying for the Olympic trials for 2024 in the marathon.